Well, hello there. Hey, Doug. Hey, Jenny. Hey, everybody else at the wedding. If you don't know me, my name's Jonathan Cole. Doug asked me to be his best man back in April or May, and I said yes, of course. He is my best friend. He was my best man in my wedding about a year and a half ago. So I was really excited that I could be a part of his special day. One of the hardest things I had to do was to then call Doug and Jenny and tell them that I couldn't actually be at their wedding. Yeah, it kind of stinks when your best man leaves the country on you. So, sorry about that, Doug and Jenny. I'm happy that I can be here, at least to give this speech. I can record it, and with technology I can send it there, and you guys can watch it at the reception, hopefully. So I'm just happy to be a part of the day still. Jenny and Doug, I've known them for ever, it seems like. Jenny I've known since kindergarten. Doug I've known since probably 5th grade. I was hanging out with Micah and Caleb Quick at the Quick's house, and Doug came over. I didn't know him at that point, but the Quicks and I were playing Super Nintendo, and Doug stayed in the corner and he was doing math problems. So everybody was doing something they loved, I guess. So everybody was having a good time. Later on, Doug and I got a little bit closer. Hung out a little bit in middle school. I believe I was the first person that did not have the last name of Quick or Anawalt to play Daddy Nolan. Which, if you don't know what Daddy Nolan is, it's a game that the Quicks and Anawalts made up. They made up a bunch of rules and then made up a crazy name, and it turns out that all of our friends really liked it. So we played it for years and years. Good times. About freshman year of high school, Doug and I were the co-founders of the 100 Hours crew, which is consisted of 4 guys who hung out until the point that they wanted to kill each other, which was ended up being about 100 hours. So we were the 100 Hours crew, Nick Lee, and then Doug and I are the better 50, of course. Moving on throughout high school, Doug was the valedictorian, of course, everybody knows. There are 2 things I remember about Doug being the valedictorian. Number 1, he didn't write a valedictorian speech at graduation. And I don't think the teachers liked that very much, and all of us kind of questioned it too. You know, you have this big honor, why don't you want to give a speech? And Doug's response to me was, well, writing a speech is just another assignment, so why would I want to do that when I've already completed high school? And I said, okay, good point. The other thing about valedictorian is, if we're hanging out anytime now and it comes up or I mention that he was valedictorian, he kind of gives me the evil eye, and he doesn't like it when I say that because that gives off the nerdy vibe, I guess, which he doesn't like, even though he's a math teacher at a college. So I don't know what other vibe he wants to give off other than the nerdy one. But he is the coolest nerd that I know. I mean, I've never known it to be true that you can have the valedictorian and kind of the class clown be the same person. So that was exciting. After high school, sadly, I think the year after high school, the Anawalts moved away from the Bunker Hill area, which was sad for all the families around that got to know them well. But Doug still wanted to be in Peru for the summers because that's where all his friends were. So he moved into my house, which it was just amazing for me to live with my best friend. We had an extra room for him. And since he was staying there for free, he decided it should be his job to do all the chores. So he washed the dishes, he took the trash out, he emptied the dishwasher. It was a win-win for me because I always got to hang out with my best friend and I never had to do any chores. So thanks, Doug, for coming and living at my house. I think I'll end the speech now with a few apologies because, you know, I haven't always been the best friend. Obviously now I'm not there with him. So I think I'm just going to end with a few apologies, and yeah, after that we'll have a toast to Doug and Jenny. Doug and I were like the best of friends, the kind of friendship that never ends. Now I know there are times when I've come up short, so here's a list of what I'm sorry for.
I'll start with the obvious, I'm in this green when I should be by you holding Jenny's ring. When we trained for cross country, I ran so slow. In 4th grade I dated Jenny, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I'm sorry that our rap group is still on album 1, but I'm happy that your solo went multi-platinum. So sorry that I never was a great teammate for rugby or hockey or we play tapes. When you got written up back in middle school, that was my fault, I'm sorry, it wasn't cool. Today is the day that we put that all behind us. It's a fresh start and our past can no more bind us. So raise your glasses high and get ready for some cake. A toast to Doug and Jenny, to a life that will be great. Full of love, full of friends, and full of happiness. Let's drink to a life full of marital bliss.
Alright, Doug and Jenny, I love you guys. Everybody raise your glasses, let's have a toast. To life, love, and happiness, to Doug and Jenny.